South Africa's latest Grand Prix was held in 1993 at Kyalami, which also hosted the race between 1967 and 1985 before returning in 1992 following the end of apartheid. For some time, discussions about a potential return to South Africa have been ongoing as part of F1's push to race on all continents and fully embrace its World Championship status. Following the Azerbaijan Grand Prix of this year, F1 CEO and President Stefano Domenicali has traveled to South Africa to meet with Kyalami officials and other stakeholders about reviving the race. Although 2024 was mentioned as a possible return date for the race, it is now believed that F1 could return to South Africa as early as next year, pending the outcome of the talks. The return to Kyalami would add to an already crowded calendar for 2023, which is on track to exceed the 24 race limit imposed by the Concord Agreement. Following its inaugural event last year, the Qatar Grand Prix has already been confirmed to return to the calendar as part of a new 10-year deal, while the first Las Vegas Grand Prix has also been announced for November 2023. China is another race that has a contract to return to the schedule next year, though the country's status remains uncertain due to ongoing COVID-19 restrictions. From the existing 22-race calendar, the French Grand Prix looks set to drop off the schedule for next year, while doubts remain over the future of the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time F1 world champion, has been one of the most vocal supporters of a return to South Africa, saying it's a place close to his heart and that he believes it would highlight the huge fan base there. F1's global director of race promotion, Chloe Target Adams, stated at the Business of F1 forum that the team has been working on establishing a presence in Africa for many years. COVID showed us that we can race quickly, but really to get where we want to be strategically, to build the sport and build the fan base, it is a couple of years process. The US is still very much in our sights. Africa and Asia, I think, is where we need to be. If you look at China with the way that COVID has happened, we've been out of that market for maybe 3 years. Next year is still a question mark. Africa and Asia is the focus, I think, in the short to mid-term, and how we race in Europe is also a big question, making sure we keep that the heartland of the sport. It's a wonderful position to be in, because everyone wants a race. That just gives us the best opportunity to create the most strategically focused, growth-driven calendar that we've ever been able to do for many years. According to a report first published by the Dutch newspaper De Telegraaf and incited by the Daily Mirror, the sport may be considering canceling a trip to the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps and Le Castellet to make room. Spa-Francorchamps has long been a fixture of the F1 calendar, with the first race taking place in the inaugural season in 1950. Since then, the circuit has not hosted a race just 6 times. Le Castellet does not have as long a history with the sport as Spa, having hosted 17 French Grand Prix since 1970. Unfortunately for F1 purists, the likelihood of the aforementioned report's findings becoming a reality is relatively high. Spa-Francorchamps and Le Castellet are both historic circuits that do not reflect F1's modern image. The sport debuted at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix last season, the Miami Grand Prix in 2022, and has plans to host the maiden Las Vegas Grand Prix next year. As previously stated, F1 intends to bring back the Shanghai International Circuit as well. Sochi has already been dropped, but there is still a logistical problem, and it may only be a matter of time before the races in Belgium and France make way for them. Dropping Spa will not be an easy decision, especially since the track is beloved by both drivers and fans. The Belgian organizers have recently invested in renovating sections of the circuit, as well as constructing a new grandstand, which may help the track keep its place on the calendar. It will be interesting to see how the final 2023 calendar turns out. What are your thoughts on how the 2023 calendar is shaping up? Are you pleased with the news about Kyalami? Which track would you add to the F1 calendar if you had the power? Let us know in the comment section down below.